I am in continuous conversations right now with people in my district, and in particular the Latino community. And this bill was actually brought to me from a constituent during week 2. And I saw that it was introduced in Maryland, and now other states are introducing it as well. Every single member of this body has to have had to receive communications from people in our districts who are terrified, outraged, and begging us to protect them right now. There isn't much that we can do, but this is one thing that we can do. We have watched the news locally and nationally. We have seen ICE agents breaking the windows of people's vehicles, snatching individuals off our streets and out of our communities, accessing state data to track people down, detaining undocumented folks, student visa holders, legal green card residents, and U.S. citizens alike, without cause, and using children as bait to detain their parents. The reports that I am hearing from people feel that ICE is ripping their families apart. And we have also seen people die. This year, I think we're up to 7 or 8 people who have died in Minnesota this month. We cannot allow anyone with experience or a history of violating people's rights to join our law enforcement agencies here. And I want to be clear that this policy does not discriminate against our Washington state law enforcement officers here. Since 2021, the legislature has implemented many changes, and most agencies across our state are doing the long, hard work in conversation with lawmakers and advocates to adhere to the highest standards of professionalism, transparency, and accountability. In my community in Kitsap County, relationships and trust between our law enforcement and community is the strongest I have ever seen it. Our law enforcement wants to stand up and protect us against any federal overreach. And we can't afford to take a step back by potentially hiring individuals or who are steeped in a culture of lawlessness. Point of order. We do have some sheriffs in Washington state who have stated their desire and their intention to work with ICE, even in defiance of our own state laws of Keep Washington Working. And I've been both sad and heartened by this, because I recently saw that WASPIC stood up very publicly to initiate proceedings to expel one sheriff from its organization for intimidation and unprofessional conduct. That makes me feel more comfortable that our law enforcement here is holding each other accountable to the highest professional standards. But we've seen how national politics has come down in Minnesota, Chicago, and the state of California, and other cities and states, and Washington has already been floated as a target of the federal administration. It would be naive of us not to prepare for a possibility of federal intervention here, and that is exactly why our governor and attorney general held a press conference on Monday. All of this will end one day, but these ICE officers will look for a new home, not here. I know recruitment is a high priority, and it's very important to all of our communities. We absolutely need more officers. That is a high priority, but we do not want to risk the individuals endangering our communities with law enforcement officers who are comfortable with violating our Washington laws or our constitutional rights and harming our neighbors. Those are not the people we can call for help or count on to keep the peace. I also want to admit that I am a person who deeply believes in second chances. I fight for people every day who have made mistakes. I fight a lot for formerly incarcerated people to have access to opportunities, jobs, and housing. And this year, I introduced legislation for law enforcement officers to have a second chance when placed on a Brady list. I'm a person who tries to live the values of restorative justice in my daily life as a human, and I hold multiple truths about people at once and do not believe all people or one person is all bad or good. And I'm saying this because I generally do not support outright bans. As a mom of a 22-year-old Marine reservist who works for the Navy Police, I have a nuanced understanding about this policy regarding the young people who are signing up to become ICE agents right now.
If you could wrap up your comments, please.
Yes, I'm wrapping up. Future legislators may look at this policy and want to adjust it. And if I'm still here, I would be open to developing a process to hear folks out about why they signed up for this, what they learned, and invest in the complete retraining in the Washington way of policing. But in this moment and in this time, we are facing unprecedented times. And the people of Washington are overwhelmingly calling for us to have an unprecedented response. The ICE Out Act of 2026 is one thing that we can do to say no, not here, and fight back against the unconscionable actions that we're witnessing all across our country.